So, during my break, I had a nice 3-minute opportunity to think about different ways that we can torture Mrs. Slime. And the first thing that came to mind, don't slugs get dissolved when you put salt on them in the garden? So I was thinking maybe getting a bag of salt and throwing it on her and seeing what happens. Maybe she gets dissolved, maybe not. The next thing came to mind was what Colonel Mustang does in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You know, extra crispy. And I figured, if you're someone like Ainz with the ability to resurrect people, if you accidentally burn her to death, you could always resurrect her and start again. And again. And again. Because we all love to hear screaming while we're trying to get to bed in the evening. And nothing would make me sleep like a baby, like the cries and screams of a woman like that. You know, all cruel and shit to other defenseless people. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than hearing her scream. With the occasional break, because if you have no frame of reference, pain doesn't mean anything. Will that work to Miss Slime Girl? If not, you can always experiment with different elements, you know, fire, electricity, ice, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure something's gonna work. I mean, but why would Ainz do that? I thought he was the supreme overlord of evil. Does he need a reason if he's truly evil? Maybe he's bored, I don't know. And speaking on the subject of Hitler, you know what would be a great way to torture Hitler? Resurrect him and make him a black Jewish person in America prior to, you know, what's his name? Martin Luther King. You know, during the segregation times. That would be fun. That'd be an excellent torture for Hitler. Oh, but let him keep his memories. Wouldn't that be fun? He'd hate everything about himself. And then if he kills himself, let him come back like Subaru and make him live out his life. So he can kill himself and he just wakes up. It would be lovely. See, that's the type of torture I'm into. Does anyone know where I can apply for the torturer position in Hell? I think I would be pretty damn good at it. Episode 7, A Boy's Feeling. No, he would start breaching the Black Rose superior race.
We'll return the day after tomorrow for your decision. I hope for your sake it's the right one, Sebas.
Did I miss something? Did I miss something? Yes, we're up to episode 7, Blue Roses. My bad!
First up, the supplemental funds for Sebas. Next is the reconstruction and equipment fund for the Lizardmen villages.
Wait a minute, so Sebas is a fancy bitch because he gets all gold. I'm guessing gold is worth 100 silver, 100 silver to a bronze? Is that the sort of exchange rate we're working with here?
First up, the supplemental funds for Sebas. Next is the reconstruction and equipment fund for the Lizardmen villages. That leaves...
Ah, long time no see. I forgot his name. Papyrus!
Frickin' chump change! Damn it all. Why is there never enough money?
'Cause you spent a mountain of gold on Shaltir! What part of no girl is worth that much do you not understand, you broke skeleton motherfucker? Go put her ass to work!
Maybe I should find a merchant with deep pockets to sponsor me.
No! You are not gonna be a sugar baby!
No, Momon is highly respected. I can't have people thinking he's only in it for the money.
Go do a high-level quest or some shit. Go slay a dragon.
Still, I really need the cash.
Then go suck dick or something in an alley. I'm sure someone's into skull fucking. See what I did there?
Enter. Do you have news?
Yes, Mr. Momon. Sir.
She's still doing that.
I mean, get used to it.
It's become a verbal tick at this point.
Then take her out on a date or something. God.
What is it?
Forgive my intrusion, but I thought you would like to know the iron ore you requested has arrived and the merchant is waiting for payment.
Excellent. Take this and thank him for me.
Wait, what? But didn't you... Oh... I could definitely tell that he was not in charge of finances. He's pissing me off. He precisely allocated how much gold it's worth, and now he just jumped it all to... As someone that's in charge of the finances in whatever organization that I join, I'm a little pissed off by this.
May I ask why you ordered it from so many different sources?
It's an experiment. I'm learning how the exchange box appraises things in this world.
Understood, sir. Then I will retrieve the ore and report back.
Good. And if the situation should turn ugly, how will you handle it?
Safety takes priority. I will withdraw immediately.
What? I thought you were going to say murder everybody involved, including the civilians, but whatever.
Once I'm clear, I will relocate to the dummy Nazarick that Lady Aura constructed with all due haste.
Ah, bait. Gotcha.
And in doing so, confuse our enemies.
Good. Avoid routes with large crowds where you can easily be attacked. And should any bystanders accost or catcall you, do not injure them severely. Keep your bloodlust in check, and refrain from calling humans worms or insects. Remember, we are high-ranking adventurers. Both our reputations hinge on your restraint.
Right.
That is all. Good luck.
Sir.
Expenses piling up when your broke happens in every world, huh?
Go put your ass to work, Skullboy. Oh shit, I forgot my water. I guess I'll have to survive 20 minutes. Anyone notice how Alberto is positioned on the left and she's positioned on the right? It's like... I just love it. They're like, we're the same rank. It's like, no you ain't, skank. Am I sure that humans can survive 20 minutes without water? Not with my level of thirst. You're doing it wrong.
Why don't you call it a day?
Lord Stronov.
You should actually be moving forwards and backwards while you're doing that to get 2 exercises in one. Also, you should be doing it one-handed.
There's no point in overdoing it. Rest up.
Yes, you're right, of course.
Am I now? If you really took stock in my advice, I wouldn't have to waste my breath reminding you every day.
I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Since you won't rest, how about a practice match?
With you, sir?
Just recently, I was shown how callow I truly am. I'd like to train with someone who has a little resilience.
Callow, you, Lord? No way.
What does callow mean? I mean no speaker inglesi.
Yep. If not for the aid of a merciful and awe-inspiring caster, there's a good chance I wouldn't be standing here right now.
What sort of magic caster could do that?
His name is Ainz Ulgon. He is incredible. Even the Baharuth Empire's freakish wizard wouldn't stand a chance. At least, that's what I think of him.
I'll be sure to remember him. You can count on that, my lord. But are you sure you want to train with someone as inexperienced as me?
It's not training, just practicing with swords. Whether you learn something from it or not is entirely up to you.
Good point.
Now, give it everything you've got.
That's a small shield. What the hell? That's like a
Any
buckler.
day now.
What's the point of that?
If you won't, that's fine. I will!
Ooh, nice kick.
Just because the sword is all I'm carrying doesn't mean you should focus your attention on it. Change that or you'll wind up on the floor again.
Right.
Oh. Very good, Climb. A normal soldier would have been done after that.
Princess Renner relies on me for safety. I have to become stronger than I am.
Simp!
Then stop waiting for me. I told you. Stop focusing on what's in my damn hand!
Martial art! Fortress!
You baited me?
That's right! Here we go! Martial art slash!
You surprised me. Now I'm going to take this a bit more seriously.
I hoped you would. Yeah!
How about it? I think I did a good job of controlling myself, considering your bones are still intact.
I'm just bruised, that's all. A little rest and I'm good.
You'll be off to guard the princess soon, right?
Stop dulling the tip
Yes,
of your
sir.
blade, damn it.
Drink this. It'll fix the worst of it.
Thank you very much, my lord. You really are amazing, you know? How did you...
If you're asking how I got this strong, you're out of luck. I don't have a good answer for you. I simply have a talent for the art of combat. But Climb, you have that same talent. All you have to do is hone it.
You think so?
Yeah, but that formal training is holding you back. You can't help but focus on fighting with the sword alone. That'll get you killed in the heat of battle. The sword is just one means of attacking. Try to incorporate your hands, feet, knees, elbows, your whole body into your method.
I remember seeing something, I don't remember where it's from, but it was something along the lines of, in the first stage of swordsmanship, the sword and the man are separate. At the second stage, the man and the sword are one, and at the final and third stage, the man becomes the weapon.
If you don't mind fighting like a muddy adventurer, that is.
I learned a lot from you today. Thank you very much.
That strike from above is one of your best abilities. However, you should think about what you're going to do next as a follow-through.
Right. I will.
Chief Warrior.
If you'll excuse me.
What is it, Vice Chief?
This is bad, sir. The boy is bodyguard to the princess. If word got out that he fought the Chief Royal Warrior and either of you lost, the noble faction would have a field day.
I just wanted to spar with someone who could keep me on my toes for a bit.
Well, I don't think anyone saw you, but you should be more careful from now on. His common heritage is only compounded by the fact that he's an orphan from God knows where. The noble faction's antipathy toward him is pretty strong. So, do you think you can help him improve?
Sadly, he's as strong as he's ever going to be. He's what adventurers would call capped at gold. But while he's limited by his ability, he's not limited by experience. Only time will tell.
Hold on. Gazif, is that Prince Zanuck with Marquis Raven? Why would someone of the noble faction be with the prince? Does he intend to switch to the royal faction?
Very possible that Marquis is a shameless opportunist. Wouldn't shock me to see him anywhere. Who knows what he's working behind the scenes.
So he's a whore.
Ah, the ever-dutiful Climb. On your way to visit that monster, I presume?
Oh boy.
I am. With all due respect, Highness, Princess Renner is a kind-hearted and beautiful treasure of the kingdom.
I'm not the one who called her a monster, and I will deny anyone who says otherwise.
Okay, Mr. Pigface.
But a beautiful treasure, well, considering the money she's wasted on commoners and the prohibition of transit tariffs, I hardly think treasure is appropriate.
My lord, I think your supper is getting cold.
Highness, I believe Princess Renner proposed the measure that abolished the slave trade within the kingdom. Surely that has merit.
A rare exception, that. But what about the others, Marquis? She knows her goal is impossible, so she throws darts in the dark with no regard to who she hits.
I'm certain she wouldn't do such a thing, Lord.
I'm sure you are. Would you deliver a message to that monster for me?
My lord, I would advise against throwing darts. You may give yourself a heart attack.
If given the chance, our elder brother will use her as a political instrument. But if she works with me, he will graciously relieve her of her title as princess and grant her a comfortable plot of land out in the frontier.
Surely you jest, Lord. I'll pretend I didn't hear that for your sake.
What a shame. I thought it was quite good. One more thing. Marquis Raven and I are of the same mind when it comes to that girl and her policies. I dare say our joining forces will prove to be the last nail in Renner's proverbial coffin.
Prince Zanuck.
Don't worry about it, Marquis. I'm fairly certain that monster is quite aware of our opinion of her.
Why did I wish that this anime has dragons, that the dragons like to burn kings alive? That little boy would be so interesting when he's extra crispy. The fat around his body would burn and encase him in it, protecting the meat on the inside. Oh, he would be so crispy.
Goodness, what's a commoner doing in here? The princess has bizarre tastes. Definitely.
Oh yes, my murder boner is growing indeed.
Pardon me.
I was wondering where you were.
Morning, Princess. Sorry I'm late. Lady Indra?
Oh, her.
Oh, so they're yours.
She's a member of my team. This is Tina.
My apologies. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Climb.
I'm sensing a lot of blonde in the room.
I'm well aware of your exploits. Of all Blue Rose's members, in fact. You're practically living legends.
Pleasure. Thanks for looking after my fiendish boss's friend.
We were just getting to the meat of the discussion. Why don't you join us?
There's plenty of meat in the other room. Would you like it medium rare? Or well done?
I'm your bodyguard. It would be inappropriate.
It makes no difference to me.
My lady, I couldn't possibly.
Enough with formality. Just call me Lacuse. Special men get that privilege.
Oh my god, she's into younger men.
Special?
Please don't joke like that, my lady.
Wait, she was joking? Of course I was, sweetie. I mean, Climb is special, don't get me wrong. But it's because he's your man. I was just having fun. You're incorrigible.
Oh yeah, she's definitely into younger men that belong to someone else. This one knows what's going on.
Now sit down and drink before your tea gets cold. Don't worry, Tina's the only one who bites.
Wow. I'll take 7.
Now, back to what we were discussing. About 8 fingers, right? Where'd we leave off? I'm pretty sure I covered how we burned the fields they use for producing black dust materials. Yes. On that note, I can't thank you and Blue Rose enough. My brother and the nobles do nothing but quarrel among themselves. If they keep allowing 8 fingers to secretly do business in the kingdom's shadows, it will fall into ruin.
You know what the good thing about monarchies is? It always ensures that the most sociopathic climbs to the top by murdering each other. Ah, it's always fun to watch them play.
Our nation will crumble from the inside out. However, I don't have any influential backing or a military force at my discretion. I'm sorry. It's just, since 8 Fingers has ties to the noble and royal factions, I must put the burden on adventurers like Blue Rose. No need for apologies.
You're adventurers?
Friends, after all. Tina, give her the parchment. We found this in the village where they were producing black dust. Know what it is? It's a substitution cipher. Interesting. I wonder why they left it behind. A trap? Or for some other reason? And if it was a trap, why use something so hard? Be right back. I have a hunch that cracking this code will prove fairly easy. Unbelievable. You got that right. I don't understand why she thinks she's powerless to help anyone. Of all the people I know, she's the only one I would call a genius and mean it. Well, it isn't orders from their higher-ups, sadly. But it is a list of villages and buildings. 7 of which are in the capital. Do you think they're black dust stockpiles or other critical production sites? I doubt they'd leave anything that important at a production site or written in such an easy code. I think it was bait. They tricked us? Not exactly. 8 Fingers is divided up into 8 different organizations, right? Yeah, that's the rumor anyway. There's smuggling, slave trading, gambling, illegal drugs, and each one has its own chief. Then I believe these are bases for the other organizations. They need our attention diverted until they can get things back on track. And they're using their own partners as bait?
A group of sociopaths to the end, huh?
Underground brothel's not on the list.
Hmm.
What is it?
I'm confused. I thought that such establishments had been done away with thanks to the princess.
Oh, my sweet, innocent child.
Mostly, abolishing the slave trade did a lot of good. But unfortunately, one Eight Fingers brothel is still active here in the capital. Tell me, Renner, what would you say to Blue Rose raiding the place and putting an end to it once and for all?
Ladies, I would insist that you bring banana peelers.
If it turned up some evidence as a result, it would strike a powerful blow against the nobles who are in bed with Eight Fingers.
And extra pure vinegar to go with it.
I appreciate your willingness, but I would hate to create trouble for you and your family. On the other hand, it would be too much for Climb to handle alone.
I'm terribly sorry for my lack of strength, Princess.
Forgive me, Climb, that was careless. That isn't what I was implying at all, okay? I rely on you more than anyone, Climb. I can't begin to thank you for how hard you work, even when you don't think I'm looking. Just please don't do anything too foolhardy.
Stop buttering him up!
In fact, I order you not to. You see, if anything happened to you, I would...
Oh, God. Urge to slaughter everyone rising.
In any case, while we can't ignore the brothel, we should discuss the other locations on this paper and what to do about them before they catch on.
You're right. We should take advantage of the opportunity.
If I don't see an evisceration by the end of this episode, I swear to God.
They still haven't realized we're responsible for the village attack. However, they have got to know that this information has been leaked by now.
Is it okay if we borrow Climb for a little while? Tell Gagarin and the others that we're making our move right away.
Borrow him. We promise to return him. Borrow him. I like it. Yeah, she's playing him like a fiddle, I know, but still, fucking beta cuck.
Understood, Lady Indra.
I mean, then again, it is an evolutionary tactic because men aren't required within the population to sustain it. Women are, because women are the bearer of children, and you don't actually need all the men to procreate, nor do you want them to procreate because that would just weaken the gene pool. You don't want the beta cucks procreating. They're the ones that should be doing all the work, supplying the resources, while the more, well, let's face it, desirable males that are filled with, you know, more desired traits, such as strength, confidence, and intelligence, should be the ones procreating to improve the gene pool. It's an evolutionary programming. That's why beta cucks never get the girls they simp for. I mean, hell is all his time.
My. Sounds like the princess is doing something reckless again.
Why do I have the feeling to throw these two into a big pile of acid?
Be tough on those Blue Rose ladies.
I'm afraid that one of those noblemen's daughters is currently serving me as a maid.
Well, it doesn't seem likely that she was sent here just to spy on you, but still.
No, better idea. Drought their hair in lighter fluid and set it on fire. Even if they survive, they'll be scarred for life.
Yes, I know.
Problem solved.
I'll have to tell Climb to be extra careful from now on.
We have Princess Bitch. I mean Peach.
Welcome back, my lord. I've been waiting.
That's very thoughtful of you. I trust there were no problems with your work?
No, none.
Well done, Tuore.
What did the other maid do to you? Show me on the teddy bear where she touched you.
I'm glad to hear it. Have you decided what we're having for dinner tonight?
A stew, lord. Made with chopped potatoes.
If it proves to be as tasty as your previous dishes, I'm looking forward to it.
You don't mean that.
I wouldn't lie to you, Tuore. Are you sure you have all the ingredients for the dish?
No. Sorry, I'll check on it later.
Remember that sushi I was eating during Attack on Titan? Because I didn't ask for more, Hutchin ate all of it. She's punishing me for not asking for more food while on stream. She's marking her territory while feeding me on stream to showcase that she's around. She's a clever one. I'm just letting her think that I haven't figured it out yet. It reminds me of this story. This guy was sitting at a barber shop. He's like, this kid's an idiot. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'll show you. And the little boy comes over. He's like, which one is worth more? The $10 bill or the handful of coins? And the coins like summed up to like $6 or $7 or something. And the kid grabbed the coins. And the old man's like, see, the kid's an idiot. Anyway, the kid walks away with the coins. The guy that this old guy was talking to walks up to the kid later and says, "Hey kid, you do realize that the $10 note is worth more?" And the kid said, "Of course I do." And the other guy said, "So why do you do that?" And the little kid said, "Well, if I picked up the $10 bill, he'd stop showing it to people." So Kuma, who would you hate to be left with in a room while helpless? Shaltir or the princess? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I know Shaltir will probably kill me, but I think the princess will make me want to kill myself. So I don't know which is worse. Being killed or wanting to kill myself and being unable to. Probably Shaltir. I mean, I might get raped on the way out, you know? Whatever.
We can go shopping together if you like.
No, that's all right.
Do not worry. I understand your fear. I'm not angry. You must be terrified of going outside. But please, rest assured.
You know what this song reminds me of?
I made a promise to protect you, Tuore. No matter what perils may come your way, I will dash them to pieces. You have my word. Tuore, keep moving forward. If you're scared, I don't mind if you close your eyes to do it. All I ask is you trust me to lead the way.
Lord Sebas, you are being fair. You aren't. There is no way I could possibly say no to you after that.
I'm being distracted by the fact that I figured out what this reminds me of. This one. It reminds me of this song. It was itching. For the last episode, I was like, what song is it? And then as soon as they played it in this scene, I was like, Calling to the Night. Fuck. This song knows how to hit you. Yeah, so that's, yeah. And I'm really enjoying his butler suit. He's got the 3 buttons, which is very uncommon. They used to have 1 button at some point, which is somewhat used today. And then they have 2 buttons, but you never do the... You know how in fashion, they always say you never do the top button? You know where that stems from? There used to be a king that was so fat that he couldn't do the top button on his blazer. So it became a fashion statement not to do your top button up. No one knows that. Well, most people don't know that. They're like, it's fashionable not to do the top button down. You know, you don't do it. Like, so do you know what's that from? No, I don't, but it's fashion. Well, let me educate you, you dense motherfucker.
Made with chopped potatoes.
If it proves to be as tasty as your previous dishes, I'm looking forward to it.
You don't mean that.
I wouldn't lie to you, Tuore. Are you sure you have all the ingredients for the dish?
No. Sorry, I'll check on it later.
We can go shopping together if you like.
No, that's all right.
You can hear it, can't you?
Do not worry. I understand your fear. I'm not angry. You must be terrified of going outside. But please, rest assured, I made a promise to protect you, Tuare. No matter what perils may come your way, I will dash them to pieces. You have my word. Tuare, keep moving forward. If you're scared, I don't mind if you close your eyes to do it. All I ask is you trust me to lead the way.
Lord Sebas, you are being fair. You aren't. There is no way I could possibly say no to you after that.
And don't worry about me. I may not look it, but I'm strong, I assure you. As a matter of fact, there are only 41 others who are stronger than me. At least they're the only ones I'm aware of.
Is that a lot? 41?
Ah, bitch is jealous. Hutchin knows if we ever get into an altercation, she just needs to step away because, you know, it's kind of distracting having her there. It's like that time we were in that gay nightclub and someone tried to grab my wallet and I pinned them to the wall. And I put their friend down to their knees and one of my stupid friends tried to grab me. Didn't end well for him. He was scared I was going to rip his throat out. He said the way that I looked at him made him feel fear. He said when he looked into my eyes, he saw his death. And I'm like, dude, why did you grab me when I was taking care of two guys? It's like, oh, I thought you needed help. I'm like, why the fuck did you grab me? I'm like, when that shit happens, just step away. Just give me my space. I don't need distractions. Meanwhile, Hutchin was just there in the corner, just being like, well, that was interesting. Why do I feel like making a couch out of this woman's skin?
I've returned and am at your service, my lady.
Very good, thank you, Sebas.
I could probably make pillows out of her boob skin.
Are you certain we should not inform Lord Ainz about her? I imagine he requires you to be in daily contact with him. Could you not simply make mention of that woman the next time you report in?
Why is it that every woman that has this hairstyle with this thing is a bitch? I'm thinking Celestia Ludenberg here.
I imagine he requires you to be in daily contact with him. Could you not simply make mention of that woman the next time you report in?
First off, I have an extremely high regard for her culinary ability solution. Secondly, if any humans were to see us living alone in this mansion, it might raise suspicion and spur them to scrutinize our presence.
So she's part of a diversionary tactic?
Yes, and if I were to seek permission from Lord Ainz over a matter as simple as maintaining our cover, he's likely to snap and tell me to think for myself.
I am Staffan Havish, a constable charged with keeping the peace here in our glorious capital.
Oh, how much I would love to string you up by your ears with fish hooks. Your weight would most doubtedly pull those ears off.
What can I do for you, Constable?
There's an establishment. Well, his establishment, actually.
Call me Succulent. A pleasure to meet you, my lady.
Oh, you definitely look succulent. I would love to put you in my oven. You too.
I received a disturbing report from an eyewitness recently. Apparently, someone with a scroll bearing the seal of the Magician's Guild gave him an exorbitant amount of money and made off with one of his employees.
Then why aren't you seeking that employee that has the exorbitant amount of money?
Sounds like a clear violation of our slave trade prohibition. So, my lady, has someone in your house been especially naughty?
This is boring.
Huh?
I will let my butler Sebas deal with this touchy matter. I'm sure he can handle things from here. Good day, gentlemen.
Now then, as my lady has ordered, I will listen to what you have to say and take whatever action is necessary.
Well, from the circumstantial evidence alone, it is beyond a doubt that you have committed a crime. Fortunately for you and your mistress, he's a benevolent man and is willing to offer you clemency, which will naturally take the form of consolation payments and commissions.
I would put rat poison in the tea and say that it's a spicy exotic Thai tea.
I see. And how much will that cost?
500 gold, not a copper less.
Ah, yes. And how much can I sell your organs for on the black market, I wonder?
That is beyond extortionate. The girl was in a terrible state when I found her. If you were to take her away now, she might very well die from it.
You don't say. How tragic. In the interest of my dear employees' welfare, what would you say to loaning us the lady of your house instead while the girl recovers?
Oh, indeed, your lost income must be compensated.
Your excessive lust must be a problem for you.
Ah! How dare you! Lust has nothing to do with it. I am merely upholding the law that came at the noble behest of the eminent golden Princess Renner. I will not stand here and suffer your insult.
Now, there's no reason to let your blood boil, Lord Havish.
You see all those layers of skin? I could cut them like sashimi and force feed it to him. It would be delicious. And given that it's mostly fat, he probably wouldn't even bleed very much. Oh yes, there is plenty to cut. Flay it very nicely, very delicately, exposing the nerve endings of the skin, and then succulently dousing it in vinegar before popping it in the oven, and the skin will nicely bubble. And then add a layer of oil, and the skin will nicely bubble. And then at the end, you just put an apple in his mouth like a piggy and rotate him slowly. Slow cooked for 18 hours.
We'll return the day after tomorrow for your decision. I hope for your sake it's the right one, Sebas.
We'll see, won't we?
May I ask what you plan to do?
I think I'll go for a short stroll and think it over.
Oh yeah, the old Alucard. Sometimes your conversation about torture disturbs me. What conversation about torture? We haven't had a conversation about torture. You call that a conversation?
Message. Hello, Lord Hines? Can you hear me?
Solution? I'm surprised to have you contact me. Is something wrong?
I think there's a chance that Lord Sebas has turned on us.
Really? No kidding around. If you don't have proof of this accusation, punishment will be swift.
No one in the history of torture has been tortured with the torture like the torture I'm gonna torture you with.
Is there any?
Yes, Lord.
Oh look, your eyes are beginning to wrinkle, you old witch. Would you like to have that discussion on torture now? Because the thing I hate most is betrayal. Oh wait, that's her. And that's oh wow, that's so cute. I am well versed in different punishments they used to enact for different types of crimes. But you see, when it comes to treason, it's one of those things where there is no clear guideline. It's one of those go with what seems appropriate sort of thing. You know, regardless of the organization, everyone just seems to be sort of, you know, have their own thing. For example, pirates used to keyhole people, which was tying them on a rope on one side of the ship and pulling them under, all the way under the ship back to the other side. And they would be cut by all the, you know, different stick things that stick to the hull of the ship. And if they were really bad, they would keyhole them from the front all the way to the back. Now, this particular type of, let's call it punishment, was very rarely enacted. Barnacles, those are the ones. And I have yet to find a single instance of where someone was keyholed from the front of the ship to the rear and survived. From one side to the other, they might have been lucky had they gone deep enough. But, I mean, remember that thing where I said just burn her like hell and then resurrect her and burn her again so you could fall asleep to her screams? It's one of those things. Except if I get bored, electrocution could be added for flavor. Being electrocuted while burned, literally singeing all the senses. You know how senses work in the body, right? It's all electrical signals in our nerves. And after a little while, you get into the whole, well, it's the same thing over and over again. And by discharging electricity, you kind of mess up all the nerves, I've got a particular nerve in my leg that's injured. Like, you can touch here, and I feel it here. That, once a nerve is, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm thinking of something like that. I'm thinking about electrocution to the voltage and amplitude until her breasts literally explode, until her eyes literally pop. I'm talking about that type of electrocution. I'm not talking about the little bits of I'm talking about fucking 11. I don't know how many car batteries it would take to get to that sort of amplitude. Maybe a power station. I don't know. And then resurrect her and just burn her or something. And just keep going over and over and over and over. And then when she's begging for mercy, just tell her once a day, I will listen to your pleas. And then just let her plea every single day with the hope that the punishment will stop. But that's the joke. The hope is just there to torture you. When indefinite torture. Forever. And don't forget, the death is not an option. You can be resurrected. Again and again and again and again. I mean, that's just the quickie that I came up with. I'm sure I can come up with something better. But you know how it works. After a while, you just forget about the person in your dungeon being tortured day in and day out. You simply forget that they exist. And after a while of being tortured till the end of time, they forget why they exist. And all they know after that is just the pain. Endless pain. So yes, that's my feeling on betrayal. Yeah, so my position is that Ainz is kind of doing a piss poor job of being a bad guy. He killed a few lizard people. Oh, look at me, I killed a few warriors. You call that genocide? Do I need to talk about the war stories that I heard from my relatives that are fucking war criminals? Do you want to hear about those stories? Huh? You want to hear that shit? Alright, let's take a quick little break. I will play Calling to the Night piano version again, which is what we listened to. And by the end of the break, we're going to go for the next episode. Warriors longed for death. Well, depending on how you resurrect, you run out of money or she runs out of levels. Then I open up a brothel and rent her out until she dies of being raped to death and resurrect her with the money that she earned during that time. Get creative, damn it! Yes, I get creative when I'm upset. And I'm not even upset, I'm just bored. That's me bored. Quick 3-minute break and we're watching the next episode. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm parched. Why are you worried? I'm the nice type of Slav. You should see the mean Slavs. I'm considered like the runt of the litter. 3-minute break.
Hey, did I hand you a shrinking potion by accident? I could have sworn that was the gender swapping one.
Don't be hating. She's fun sized, that's all. She doesn't even have to get on her knees to blow.
You want to add anything to that conversation?
Nope, I'm good. In fact, I think your new size makes you an even more formidable and stealthy ninja.